So now we will talk about the multi-dimensional arrays. Okay, so for example, I start with the two-dimensional array. Okay, we can say that we have a two-dimensional array to d is equal to new int. Again, I put that particular thing here, and as you know that we are talking about a two-dimensional array, it means we can have, yes, we can have the arrays, but inside those arrays we will only have the elements. I mean, how many arrays you want inside this one. For example, I created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have the first dimension is 5. First dimension. Okay, and then maybe we can put different values here. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But remember that once you have selected the 7, so all others will also have the same values, same number of values. Maybe you can say that 17, 16, 15, 14, but they must have the same. We can't say something like this, here we give 2 values or 3 values. No. Look, it is showing me that red line underline. It is not going to accept. Okay? So we must have the 7 values in each of them. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Once it is done, it's fine. Look, that red line goes away. But for the other two, it's still showing me that particular red line. So maybe I can say that 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, and 700, because again we have 7 values. That's fine. So I can give something like this: A, B. No. Why? Because all the values, the data type of all the values must be the same for the arrays. That's restriction we have in the arrays. All the values, all the elements must have the same data type. So again, maybe I can simply say that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have all those values. So now if you look at that, it is a 2D array. 2D array with how many? 5 by 7. Now I know exactly, I can simply make a loop like for int I is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus, and then again inside I have another loop, that is int j is equal to 0, j is less than 7, and j plus plus. And here I can say that console dot write, and here I can say that ar 2d sub I comma j, and I also want to add a space between these two values, and here I can say that console dot write line. I go to the new line after I print that one particular, like this one particular array, I print completely and go to the new line, then print the second one, then print the third one, and so on. And every time when I'm printing the new array inside internal array, I go to the new line. Okay, if I try to run that particular program, and let's see how it goes. So it is printing, but now we have hard coded our dimension values. Remember, if we have the simple array, maybe I just try to copy this thing here. I mean, if we have a simple array, int array is equal to this thing, and if I want to print that particular value, I just need to do that. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than array dot length and I plus plus, and I simply say that console dot write, and then I say that a r sub I, and I say that plus slash t, and then of course at the end I want to have this particular line so that it will go to the new line. Okay. Okay. If I do that, I mean, I don't need to worry about what is the dimension. Okay, these are 7 elements. I don't put the 7 here. I is less than 7 here. I simply say that array dot length, and if I do that, it will print my array. I don't need to worry about how many elements are there, hard coded, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, fine. It's printing that the first row is actually the simple array, and then this is our two-dimensional array. And if I want to achieve that thing, if I want to achieve that specific thing, then we need to see how we have a name dot, like I can say that I want to console dot write. What I want to print, I want to print where is my AR 2D dot rank. If I print that one, it will print me 2. Now I know that I have that 2. Okay, fine. But how we can try to make a loop which is more dynamic as compared to putting those values 5 and 7 here? If we know that we have 2 dimensions, we can simply say that, like I change this thing here, so I say that array dot, let me go back to my slides, see what is that. Okay, we have this two-dimensional arrays, rank is there, and then we have that get length of a specific index. Okay, so we can find those values. How we can find? We can make a loop for int. Now, okay, we need to find out. It's not that simple that handling the two-dimensional array, because we are trying to find out the, when we are making the dynamic, we can't say that we are putting the first index value at the first value and the second index value second value and third one is one value. That again dynamic. How many dimensions are there? So if we know that, then we can simply say that dot get get length, yeah, get length, and we give 0 here, and then here instead of giving that 2D AR 2D dot get length, and we get one value here. Again, it will print me the things that make a little bit dynamic. But how many nested loops are there? We have to know that we are using a two-dimensional array or a three-dimensional array or a four-dimensional array, because if it is a three-dimensional array, we will have a third loop inside this one as well. We will see. First, try to see how it goes with the two-dimensional. For each dimension, we get the value dynamically based on that dimension, but we have to know that how many dimensions are there. We can't make it like more kind of a dynamic things. Okay, clear? So instead of hard coding, we are trying to put those values from the dimensions. Get the first dimension, get the second dimension. And accordingly, you will set those values. And if we say that, I just try to copy this thing again and making it a 3D. So when it's a 3D, it means that we are talking about that instead of having these values, okay, let me copy these things, or Control X. This is our main array. Here we have the, like we have 4, the first dimension is 4 different arrays. And inside each array, we again have multiple arrays. Okay, I just try to print that in all of them. Again, look at that. It is saying that, I mean, it is giving me the red. Why? Because we already have these multiple dimensions. This is the first dimension. This is the second, and inside we have 7 elements. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here again we have 5 elements. Again we have 5 elements. Again we have 5 elements. So we must have in each top level array, we must have 5 elements, and inside each element we must have the 7 one. Is it fine? Why it is still red? Okay, so actually we have this thing. We need to provide these. We are not saying that this is a 3-dimensional array. Yeah. Understand? So we are saying that at the top level we have what you can say that 1, 2, 3, 4. In each we have 5, and then each we have 7. So 4, 5, 7. So remember that all 4 at the top level must contain the 5 arrays inside each of them, and each array inside must contain the 7. If it is just change this thing, it will create an error. Look, that red line is coming up. Understand? And then how we can print that thing? Again, we need 3 loops now, of course. 4, not 4. 4 int I is equal to 0, I is less than. Now we have array 3D dot get length. Again, 0 index value. The first dimension, length of the first dimension, we get it. And then we say that I plus plus. And inside we are saying that 4 int j is equal to 0 and j is less than array 3d dot get with length. Yeah, get length index value 1 and j plus plus. And inside again we have another loop. This is for the first dimension, this is for the second dimension, and this is for the third dimension. As many dimensions we have, as many nested loop we will need to print, to access all those values inside those multi-dimensional arrays. So int k is equal to 0, k is less than array 3d dot get length, and we give the index value 2, and then we say that k plus plus. So here we can print the values. Console dot write that particular value. Maybe you want to print exactly the same way, then you need to put some brackets here. Like if I say that console dot write line, and here we can put that particular bracket, and after that we are trying to print closing bracket. Okay, here you can write that particular array 3d, and here you need to provide 3 values, I, j, k. and of course we want, if I want to print that slash t, so it will print this particular value, and then it will print the new line. Then again it will print that particular value and print the new line. Or maybe I can just simply say that right line, and then here you have the right line, and then here you can have that one. In this way it will, that lines will remain on the same line. Okay, let's run it and see how it goes. Look, so we have printed all those values. So multi-dimensional array, this is our simple array, this is our two-dimensional array, and here we are printing that again. I think it is printing all the inner arrays at the same level. Look, this one, and if we can try to, okay, if I just try to go back, and here I say that instead of having this one line, okay, so once the array printing is done, it will go to the new line. It will print and go to the new line, or it will go to the new line and print. Print and go to the new line, yeah. So it will give you a more organized view of that particular array. And look at that, because we are doing all those nested loops, so it takes a little bit time to perform, execute all those. Although it's not that big, but still you can see the difference. So here, this is the top level, okay, and here it is the one array, second array, third array, fourth array, and fifth array. So here we can, this is how we can use that specific arrays. So these are the multi-dimensional arrays and how we can use. And again, of course, you can add the 4 dimensions. When you add the 4 dimensions, then you say that array name dot get length 0, 1, 2, 3, and make the 4 nested loops,